Well, this is why you spend your money wisely, children. These are so heavy. These are so heavy. Who needs weights and a gym when you have this? Hi, it's Izzy. Welcome to my channel, Thoughts of a Hawk, where I have thoughts on just about everything. And today, I face the consequences of my actions. It's been a couple of months, and within that time, I think I've gone a little bit book crazy. So a bit of a life update. I've been volunteering at Vinnies every Sunday. I love organising their books and sorting everything out, and when I'm organising, I do tend to look at the shelf and I end up buying 1 or 2 books after my shift. And yes, I'm volunteering, and yes, it's unpaid, so that means it is a lot of money that I've been spending on these books, but they are very good prices and they are very good condition books, so I feel like it's a win-win. If I tend to take a book off a shelf and I think it looks very pretty, that is a driving factor for whether I buy the book or not. Sue me, I judge books by their covers. But I feel like every book person does that, so you know what? I'm not the only one out there. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with just treating myself after my shift a little bit. Just, you know what? Getting a book or two. One thing to make my day so much better is to buy books. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Like, you do you. There are worse things to buy.
If you're going to be obsessed with something, being obsessed with a series of books or films is pretty good.
Yeah.
Some people are obsessed with heroin.
Anytime I do buy a book or I get a book, it is the best serotonin. It is the best. Let's get on with the book haul. So the first books that I'll be showing you guys is admittedly a very popular series that is out now, and the sequel has come out just recently, and I caved in because I feel like the hype is warranted. Even though I haven't read it yet, I haven't read any of these books yet. The first 2 books are the Fourth Wing series, so Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I'm really a fantasy girly, so I really loved the magic. I feel like magic should be an off-limits word for me because it is one of the ones that I use a lot. I sort of caved in. I didn't buy Fourth Wing for the longest time. I bought Fourth Wing recently, and then I thought, you know what? Iron Flame has come out recently, and I think it would be right up my alley. I think it was a more emotional buy than a logical buy because I haven't read the first book yet. And then I just went, yep, let me buy the second one immediately. This is a fantasy and romance series, and I think if I had to compare it to movies or something that is really popular as well, I think it would be a cross between How to Train Your Dragon and Divergent. There are 4 quadrants: riders, as in dragon riders, healers, scribes, and infantry. Violet was supposed to be a part of the scribe quadrant, but she was sent to the riders quadrant. Another reason why I bought this series was because it was recommended to people after they read the ACOTAR series, and I am on the last book of that series, so I was thinking this would be a good series to move on to. And can we just look at the covers because they're so shiny, they're so beautiful. I did not know until I bought it that the spines are matching. Can you wait? Yes, like they're matching, they're the same height. They will look amazing on my shelf regardless of whether I like the series or not. So I am very happy with that, but you know what? They are very thick as well. As I've said, I am reading the ACOTAR series currently, and the last couple of books have really killed me. Like, I just need a break. So these might not be read straight after my current reads, but you know what? I will get round to them eventually. But oh my god, I just need a break from big books for a little bit. I also bought The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I wanted to read it before I watched the movie, but that didn't happen because I wanted to avoid spoilers as much as I could, so I went to see it almost straight away with my sister, and I feel like I like this cover, this like golden cover, more than, I think it's green, the original cover for when this book came out. So it is a prequel to the original Hunger Games books. And yeah, so I started reading it the day I bought it, and I got, I think 3 chapters into it, and then I went to watch it that same day. So, I am going to finish reading this because, oh my god, the movie, oh my god, the movie felt very much like the original books and like those original dystopian movies, The Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, Divergent, all those sort of movies. I think the original Hunger Games series and the movie adaptations were so good. Now that I know how the songs go in the movie and like how they sound, I feel like I'm going to enjoy the book a lot more. And oh my god, the music and the songs and Rachel Ziegler in the movie, oh my god, I love that sort of folk hippie sounding music, and that's completely all the songs in my playlists. So they are going to be added and listened to until I'm sick of them. So the next book was a recommendation by a friend, and I was going to try reading it for Halloween or before Halloween, but I didn't end up doing that because I was hooked on the ACOTAR series. So it's called Murder in the Family. So it's a mystery thriller, and it's sort of formatted differently to most books. It's sort of formatted as a screenplay almost, and there are some of the evidence that, you know, police and crime investigations use to look at murders and stuff like that. So you follow along the story of Luke Ryder, who was murdered, and the director of that TV show, Guy Howard, his stepfather is the murder victim. His body was found in front of his family home, and his wife and 2 children had no idea what happened to him. So you're sort of trying to see whether they know anything about it, and you're trying to see who was the one that actually killed him. I really like the sound of it, and I really like how it's different to like normal storytelling. And I have been wanting to get into more screenplay and more poetry and more differently formatted books. So this would be a really refreshing and really new take, a really new book for me to read. So the next book was admittedly a very impulsive buy. I saw it at Kmart for like $8 or something, and I was like, you know what? I saw the TV series. I didn't watch it on Netflix, but I was very interested in it, and I saw a lot of TikTok videos of scenes in it, and I thought that's like interesting. So I bought it. I went to the register and I searched it up on Goodreads or Google or something, and I saw it was the second book in the series, and it's an 8-book series. So it is The Witcher. The Witcher is sort of a darker fantasy. I think it's the second book in the series. All I know is that this isn't the first book. So it looks like there's going to be 1 extra book added to my TBR that I don't have already. That was a major oopsie moment for me. I screwed myself over for a little bit for this one. It's fine. The next book was a gift from another friend, and she said she bought it from Big W or something, and then she saw it and she thought of me when she saw it. So I was like, you know what? I have a feeling I'm gonna like this book. So it's called The Naturalist of Amsterdam, and it's by Melissa Ashley. She called me and she said, Izzy, are you at home? And I'm like, yes. And she said, well, I'm at your front door. And I thought, okay. Anyway, I went up to the front door, I opened it, and she had this book in her hands like this, and I wanted to scream. I haven't seen this book before, but I've seen it every time I've gone book shopping since. And it is totally a book that I would buy for myself, so I'm actually so happy. Firstly, look at the cover. This is absolutely beautiful. The butterfly, the orange, it's just so nature-filled, and I love it. And then you open the cover and it's, oh my god, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Let me just take the sleeve off for a split second so you can admire the inside. I didn't see that I didn't see that this is what the color of the inside was.
Are you okay?
Are you kidding me? I
am wonderful. I've always wanted a nose.
So cute. It's like a little baby unicorn.
What? Hey, whoa! Oh, I love it even more.
Oh my god, look at it, and it's so pretty. It's blue, like blue foiling and everything. And it's like a pastel yellow cover. Oh my god, I can't wait to read this book. I actually can't. No, but look at the cover and look at the inside, and it's just so pretty. I am such a nature geek. Oh my god, like, this is the perfect, this is an amazing book. This is such a good book. This is, I can't stop gushing over this book. I'm actually so giddy about it. Because, as I said, I love covers, and this is probably one of my favorite looking books that I have. This is a historical fiction book. This is about a mother and daughter scientist duo, and the mother, Maria, is a very well-known and established scientist in the 1700s, and Dorothea, her daughter, just wants some independence, to live outside of her shadow, outside of her mum's shadow. And so they go to the jungles of South America. They go on a journey to find their biggest discovery yet. Anyone who knows me, or if you follow me on Instagram, I am an avid nature photographer and I love nature photography. So this whole book is just home to me. I just want to, oh my god, I just want to give this book a big hug. I can't stop, I actually just can't stop looking at it. Like, this next book I bought from a bookshop in Queen Victoria Market. It's called Mary Martin Bookshop, and I made a reel about it on my Instagram, so you can check it out there. It's my blind date with a book, so it's called Still Life by Sarah Winman. When I opened it, I was completely, you should have seen my face behind the camera, because I was so happy. I saw the yellow, I saw the nature, and I was like, how did I get such a perfect book just from a sentence? I think the prompt or the recommendation said something about Italian community and friendships, and I was like, you know what? I want to get something like that. You know, it like resonates. I feel Italian things feel very homely to me, and I want to read more about that. I was very, very happy with getting this book. And I thought, oh no, this is very dangerous, because this is going to lead me to buy more blind dates with a book. This is another historical fiction, and it's based in Tuscany in the Second World War. It's about two people meeting, so a young soldier called Ulysses Temper and an art historian, Evelyn Skinner, who is 60 years old, and she is salvaging all the art that she finds around Tuscany. It's basically about how both of their meeting during the World War impacted their post-war lives. As with all the other covers of books, I'm very interested to see how the parrot has anything to do with the story, because I love book covers that aren't obviously about the plot that they're talking about. So the blurb talks nothing about this bird, but I'm actually excited to see where the connection is and where the deeper meaning is in the story. Italian relationships and friendships are very loud and very, very passionate. That's the word I'm looking for. But I think that is so familiar to me, and I think I'm really excited to read about it in a book. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is a popular BookTok book, yes, I know, and it has a really interesting premise. It's set in a Tokyo bookshop, not a Tokyo bookshop, it is set in a Tokyo cafe. It follows time travel and sort of fantasy themes, and so people go in there and have their cups of coffee. The rules are that you can't leave the seat that you sit in, and you can't leave the cafe, so you can only see people who have visited the cafe. And the most important one is you must return to the present before your coffee gets cold.
He said it! He said it!
A lot of what I've been doing recently is I've been going to Williamstown Beach and I've been relaxing. I went with my friend to a bookshop in Williamstown, and I bought Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. The cover is what drew me to this book initially, because I saw it on my TikTok and I really loved like all the books and the cat and the silhouettes, and it just looks really nice. It looks sort of not comic book like, but it does in a sense. Like that's what it reminds me of. I really love books, about writing and writers and bookish people and people that are passionate about books. You know, my favorite Disney princess is Belle, so you know it's a little bit on the nose, but you know, I really love books that are set like that. The 25-year-old protagonist wasn't even a reader to begin with, but because her family owned a secondhand bookshop for generations, she goes to help her uncle Satoru run the bookshop, and it's a secondhand bookshop, which I really love. This is a new genre for me. It is like contemporary Japanese literature, so I haven't come across or read anything like this before, so I'm really excited to dip my toes in it. And I sort of was introduced to this style and this genre of books through Jack Edwards, which is one of my favorite booktubers of all time, and I feel like they are very heartfelt and very homely and very wholesome books to read. All of these last books I got from Vinnies. They range from about $1 to $3. Definitely will be tempted to buy more books in the future because the condition of the books is so good, and there's no reason why they can't be read again. Like there's no rips, there's no writing. It's all good quality books that are given a second chance to be read, and it is helpful for the environment. I'm actually really excited because it gives me the chance to buy books that I am a little bit hesitant to buy because I'm not 100% sure that I'll like it, but I don't want to spend $12 or $16 at Kmart or Big W, or $25 or $30 at a regular like Dimmicks or QBD. I bought these two Leanne Moriarty books, so Big Little Lies and Truly Madly Guilty. And funnily enough, I wrote about Leanne Moriarty for one of my uni assignments for my Australian Contemporary Literature courses, and I actually wrote about Big Little Lies a little bit, and I never ended up reading it.
Don't look at me like that.
I didn't need to read it for the assignment, so I'm all fine on that front, but I was really interested about learning about her writing process and how she takes really dark themes but uses very truthful emotions and relates it to the reality that some people face. And I really wanted to read more Australian literature and Australian authors, so I thought, you know what? What's a better time? I saw it on the shelf and I just snagged them both. So these two books focus around very unstable relationships that the protagonists have with very close people in their lives, so mothers and their children, or two best friends. And Big Little Lies is a TV series, a very popular TV series, and I haven't watched it, so I thought, you know what, I'll read the book, and if I like the book, then I'll watch the TV series. That is a very common theme, I realised, for a lot of the books that I read. But believe me, I'll read this book before I watch the TV series. Not like The Hunger Games.
Don't look at me like that either.
And then I realised I think I sort of went on a little murder, mystery, psychological thriller phase. And then I think it was a little bit too late to have that phase right now because Halloween is over. But you know what? I saw this on TikTok, really liked it. I saw this on the shelf. I haven't heard about it before. And I think it is a really interesting premise, and it sounds like a really good twist and turn sort of book. So I really love those kind of books, you guys know, and I never see the twists coming, so I'm really excited to read this one. I thought initially picking it up, it did look a little bit like a fantasy book, but I don't think it is. I think it is just a psychological thriller. And this one is actually about a group of 4 friends from a retirement village who, on every Thursday, they have a murder mystery sort of club where they solve cold murder cases, so unsolved murder cases, until a body is found at their retirement village, and they have to figure out who the killer is, and they're in the midst of the case themselves. And as a delayed response of the spooky season and Halloween, I found this on the shelf, and it's a short story collection of ghost stories over time. So how the ghost genre has evolved over time. I initially saw the editor, the person who put all these stories together, and I've read a book that she's written before called The Time Traveler's Wife, and I really did love that book. So I was like, you know what? This seems really cool, and I haven't really read a lot of short story collections since basically probably year 12 English or whatever, and that's when they sort of make you read and they take all the joy out of it. So I was like, you know what, if I'm really interested, this will encourage me to get into short story collections. And I think I was also in the mood for ghost stories and the paranormal and all that sort of stuff. I was fresh off watching the Sam and Colby The Conjuring House series, and I was sort of in belief of all ghosts and everything. I still am, but I was very much in the mindset of all that. So I think this is a really mood read by, but I'm not in the mood to read it right now. So the next two books, The Nightingale and The Dictionary of Lost Words, are both historical fiction as well. And I feel like I unintentionally went through a historical fiction phase as well, because I admittedly was looking at these books, picked them up and thought, these are really pretty. I looked at the shelf, it was sitting up there on the shelf, both of these, and I was organizing the shelves, and I think I almost looked at them, did a double take, and I was like, you know what, let's buy them. And I don't think I read the blurbs properly, and I just bought them because of what they looked like. So I was just like, you know what? Squirrel! This is once again a book about a book. Starts with the creation of the first Oxford English Dictionary. Words in relation to women's experiences and feelings and anything basically in relation to women is conveniently lost or not added into the dictionary. So the protagonist Esme is collecting all of these lost words and putting them in a dictionary of her own, and I think I love that idea of just not forgetting women's part in history. This is from two sisters' perspective. This is set in the Second World War. Vivienne has to give her house over to a German captain, and then the second sister, Isabel, has been heartbroken by a soldier, and she has gone to the resistance in order to fight the Allies. Yeah, so these last couple of books, I'll just say a couple of words about why I bought them, because it's not an in-depth thing. So Torment I bought because it's about a fallen angel boyfriend, and you know what? It was in anticipation for Halloween as well. Didn't get around to reading it. This is basically a what if story. So what if Aurora had to wake herself up after she got pricked by the spindle of a spinning wheel and she fell into the sleep curse and the prince couldn't wake her up. This is the third book in the trilogy. I already have the first book, and I saw this and I thought, you know what? If I enjoy it, I'll buy the second book and then I'll already have the third book. So I'm thinking ahead, wise thinking, and it was $2. It's in amazing condition, and why wouldn't I? Because look at that cover for the millionth time. Isn't it beautiful? That's the end of the book haul. I should say that I'm on a book buying ban, but I know that will be a lie. I really encourage you to shop secondhand because the books are in such good condition. There's nothing wrong with the books, and they are very cheap and they are going to a good cause. I hope you enjoyed all my book recommendations, and if you have any more recommendations for me, I would love to see them, because as you can see, I'm not shy to buy a lot of books. If you have a recommendation for what I should start with first, comment below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!